Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is Tuesday. It is music night with Brian
Yes,
Red. We still need the go on in the background.
right.
I
We
mean,
need some kind of angelic something
we
going on.
too, because I mean, Tuesday nights with the music thing has become kind of that type of almost a spiritual night.
I enjoy it. It's fun. I don't have to. I don't know. It's stuff I already know for one. I don't have to like brush up
Yes.
on anything. Uh, like on the lighting videos, I have to like cram manuals and look at menus and things. Some of the other stuff I really want to be careful with. But this is like, yeah, I know this, so we just go with it. It's fun.
It is, and that's probably that's the topic we should actually leave for towards the end because I'm
Okay.
gonna make a note on that because that for those who have never done video for video prep. So I'm just making notes so we can talk about it. It's a different world when you're doing video reviews and such. So let's make sure we dig into that one later because I think that one
I'd love to talk about it too. That'd be
because that would
fun.
be kind of a cool topic that they just don't know the behind the scenes. The folks don't. It's not pretty.
Hello to chat room, by the way. I can't see you, but hi.
Yeah, the
Hello.
chat rooms they're just starting up here and such.
Nice.
Getting a couple of people coming in. A couple of minutes late here.
Our 7 listeners.
Yeah, our 7 listeners. There we go. Now Howie's in there. Yay. And we are live. A lot of this, gang, we usually get some of this done in advance of the show and like the 5 minutes before we start. But tonight, Mr. Little Webcam decided it was going to be funky.
Yes, in the meantime, my webcam looks nice and crisp and clean tonight.
Yeah, you look great. You look fabulous. Not that you always don't look fabulous, but you look extra fabulous tonight.
Yes.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this week, well, let's take a step back. We have been doing music each week. We did 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. So we had 5
We did disco.
weeks of decades. Then
Right.
we came back and did disco. So we had 6 weeks of music, and we
Well,
asked
in between 90s and disco, we had the live show from Vegas.
from Vegas. So gosh, yeah, we've been doing Tuesday programming for quite a while here.
Right.
And tonight, we're going to dig into a singular year. We've been kind of doing a decade, but we wanted to look at the singular year. We're going to start with the year 2000 because there's some of the music as we get kind of into the more modern things that work on a dance floor and some things that don't. And that's the way we're going to kind of look at tonight's list of songs.
The staying power thing.
Precisely. The power of, how will it work on your dance floor? Will it work on your dance floor? Or in some cases, how in the heck did that get on that list?
Right.
Oh, there's just some things. So, Brian, where did our list know that we're going to be working through tonight? We're using the top 100 from 2000, the year 2000.
The Billboard India Top 100, the top 100 singles of 2000.
Okay, so this was the thing that, well, Casey Kasem probably wasn't doing it anymore, but back when you and I were younger,
I think it was Rick Dees at this point.
this is Rick Dees putting it together.
Pre-Ryan Seacrest. So. Yeah.
So this would have been the end of the year, another one of those end of the year lists that everyone hates to listen to over and over again.
Incidentally, Billboard is located a few miles away from me in a town called Menominee Falls, Wisconsin.
Just down the road.
I don't know why it's here, but it is. It's in Menominee.
I would have never guessed it's in Menominee Falls.
I mean, it's not like there's a storefront or anything.
Yeah, there's not much there.
Interesting. If you look up Billboard, it's based in Menominee Falls, Wisconsin. It's kind of interesting.
Another wonderful thing from Wisconsin.
Yes.
So, Brian, let's kind of look at things, and we'll kind of go in groups of 10.
Okay.
And what we'll do is we'll kind of pick out, again, we'll put the links and such in the description a little bit later, so you guys can take a look and kind of follow along as you're watching this afterwards. But let's take the first 10, and what we'll do is kind of pick out a couple in there that stood out that are maybe some that are that are still in our playlist things, and kind of let's go through that way. So I'll let you start and grab one in the first 10 there that you want to talk about a little bit, and we'll go from there.
Okay, let's see. The first 10. Oh, wow. What's on here that has anything to do with what we do today? Not a whole lot.
Oh, come on. Now there's a couple.
In the first 10 that we're doing right now?
Right now.
Oh, man. I'm looking. I see 2 songs that I would maybe play at a gig, but probably not because there are better choices. The first one is number 97, which is Independent Woman by Destiny's
Oh,
Child.
you started on the other end. Okay.
Oh yeah, you gotta do the countdown. Like,
Oh, well, okay. So it's okay. We'll go to the bottom
yeah.
10.
Oh
So we're going
no, no,
to do
no, no, no. You don't
number
start at 1
90.
and go to 100. You gotta
Oh,
build it up.
when we get to the bottoms, there's that we're going to zip through some of these so far.
That's what's so much fun about it.
Okay. So I'm going to highlight the other 10. So yeah. Okay. So now as we look at that, okay. So we've got a Lone Star and different things. Which ones did you think would actually have a little bit live? I did highlight 2 of them in this set of 10.
Okay, I'm seeing Waiting for Tonight, Jennifer Lopez, although there are better options for Jennifer Lopez songs.
Yep.
It was her first dance song, though. And it had some legs back then.
Yep.
And the other one, let's see, where the hell was the other one? Oh, Independent Women, Destiny's Child.
Yep. Those are 2 that I had highlighted that I think if we kind of classify as things that could work today and things that in special instances, as we've talked about I think that those 2 songs would probably be in the right situation,
Right.
very situational. The interesting one in this group of 10 though is number 100, Mary Mary.
Yeah.
This is I believe this might be the only Christian band in the top 100 for the year end. As I was going through, the song is called "Shackles." Praise You. If you haven't heard this, you probably haven't been to a youth rally in the last probably 15 some years. This is a huge one in the youth rally and
Really?
the live bands. It's a upbeat, fun. It's got a nice beat to it, and the kids will get into it. And as you can see, it was a crossover enough so that unfortunately the kids who are in teen youth rallies didn't hear it, but the adults who might have been in that in that 35-year-old range,
Right.
they would have between 30 and 35, they would know that song. So
I know the song. I just didn't realize it was a Christian song.
yeah, and I didn't really know it really until I started doing youth rallies maybe 10 years ago, and it's like, wait, I remember I played that in a bar a couple of times because
Right.
you'd have people request it because it had that kind of a popularity and such. So another one, probably a Little Bow Wow. What was the deal with Little Bow Wow? I remember vaguely when he was on the scene. What was up with that?
I don't know. He's somebody's kid.
Was that
He's oh boy, whose kid is he? He's like is it not Method Man? It's somebody's kid. I don't remember who.
yeah, there we go.
Rapper's kid. But he became an actor. And I mentioned him in a previous show, actually, when we were talking about 70s and 80s music. He was in a movie called Roll Bounce, and he was just changed his name from Lil Bow Wow to Bow Wow. Good actor. I really enjoyed the film, and if you have not watched the film, I recommend that you watch it. Last time I mentioned it, get it for the kids. It's a great one for the kids.
Mm-hmm.
A really nice movie about skating rinks back in the old days. It's funny, real lighthearted. Real good film. Like Nick Cannon turns up in it too. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, just some kid rapper.
Yeah, at this point in time, he definitely was a kid rapper. I remember that part of it. I could
Right.
not remember. So if anybody can remember out there who's in the chat, Little Bow Wow.
Who was his dad?
Yeah,
His
who is
dad
he?
was somebody, and I can't remember who his dad was.
Oh, halfway through we're going to remember it if no one in the
Right.
chat remembers it.
I should have looked it up. I wasn't even.
Yeah, I wasn't even thinking about that myself. It was
Someone's kid. I don't know. Anyway,
fill in the blank.
but there's some real like festering turds in here that just, I don't know. You couldn't do anything with today if you tried. Like Girl on TV, LFO. I mean, that was. I don't know if you were into that kind of stuff. I hated that kind of stuff.
That particular, there were some that you could do something, and we'll run into a few at the top of the list that you could actually do something with. That one, not so much. I
No.
don't.
There's not a whole lot you could do with that.
And there seemed to be kind of you had kind of the extremes. We had that type of music that was the kind of alternative rock, maybe not quite so
Yeah.
popish, pop influenced.
Like soulless, folky crap. I don't know. I didn't like it. There's a lot of it in this chart, but it's starting to go away. This fad leaves us within the next year or two. It completely goes away. And the only survivor of that whole thing is maybe Smash Mouth.
Yeah, they're
But
really
a lot of those bands just go away.
just kind of
It's nice. It's nice to see them go away.
yeah, because they
There's
just did
a lot
not
of
work.
disposable R&B in this list too.
There was the other side. The R&B influence of this list was actually very surprising to me, and
Very
it's
strong.
it's a not that kind of that we can use in our dance floor. You've got some okay songs. I mean, I actually highlighted some songs that would kind of make for a kind of that lighter dinner time segue to your dance up higher on the list. But yeah, not yeah.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot going on here.
Okay, let's jump up to 80 through 89. Take our next 10.
80 through 89. Okay, let's do it.
This one, there's a couple here. This is actually, I've got two songs in here, one of which I play at almost every event. And
right.
And the second one that I play more often than many other ones, but not as often as it comes. The one I play at every event or most every event, is Leanne Womack's "I Hope You Dance," which we've talked about.
Nice song. Yeah, that's one of the tunes that you should have from this list. Is that track? Anybody watching? If you don't have it, get it. It's a nice one.
Oh, I'm sidetrack here. Little Romeo was Master P's kid. Snoop discovered Bow Wow. So maybe we were thinking Little Romeo because I know it.
Maybe, yeah. You know what? You're right. It was something.
Yeah. We're old and we forget things.
We don't know.
So thanks for that, guy. Whoever Bob.
All
Bob
the Lils are all the same to me.
Yeah, that's Lil there.
There's still Lils coming out, and I Lil Wayne, Lil Bow Wow, Lil this, Lil that. Lil I don't care.
Yeah, just take your little and get the hell out of here. Yeah. All right, what did you have in this 10 that jumped out at you?
Better Off Alone, Alice DJ. I love that track.
I highlighted that one too.
Yeah, that's one that, if you've got a hipper crowd, I can't do it in Milwaukee. I could probably do it in Chicago. I did it at the club even a couple of years ago. People knew it. I could play it. It's a nice track.
This is actually one of the songs that when I'm mixing for a school dance, that I'll take a chorus and verse, or even just the chorus of it. This is because it has the beat. You can move into it and out of it pretty quickly and easily. And that's one that there's enough recognition that the kids are like, oh yeah, I've heard this before.
Right.
And that might be the best you can get out of it.
Yeah. I mean, it's so funny because I think when we look back on music, we used to think, okay, rock and roll's the stuff with the real staying power. But in the last 20 years, I think it's been the dance music with the staying power. And that's kind of interesting to me, where the rock and roll has kind of been cast aside, unless it's fantastic.
Yeah.
But a lot of that good dance stuff stuck around.
Yeah. That it did.
There's funny ones in here, like the Billy Morgan Dance With Me track. Remember that one?
Yeah.
It was like they used like Hernando's Hideaway, that tune as the structure of the song. That da 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 da.
I was listening to a lot of these today, and I'm thinking, wow.
Yeah.
Just how did
There's not much. Yeah.
It was a desperate time. We'll put it that way in music. Not
I think this was actually the turning point for the better. I said it in the 90s show that was not my favorite decade. This is my favorite decade.
Yeah, they started to definitely definitely see some influence still coming from that 90s, but we're changing. But let's face it.
It wasn't all charting, but it was out there.
It was out there.
Yeah.
The other song that I have used from this section is Tim McGraw's "My Best Friend."
Yeah, I knew you'd chime in on the country, so I didn't touch it.
Yep, the country was there, and then of course Toby Keith's "How Do You Like Me Now." That one I've actually had. I don't know if I've ever played that one just spontaneously on my own, but that one I've had requested. And ironically, it's been requested at a wedding, and it's been requested by someone who's probably trying to poke back at somebody in the crowd. So it doesn't mean it gets played, but it has been requested.
But it doesn't have to be a wedding. It could be some other party.
Yeah, something that's
not, you can throw it on and
not so pointed that it's like a shot at the bride.
So what do you have on the next?
Yeah, let's move into the next. The next 10, there's some Savage Garden that I think is just kind of a waste of the Dre and Snoop Dogg with the next episode was. I don't think it's something that would work on your dance floor, but I think it's one of those situational tracks.
I play it.
Really?
Yes, and people love it. And they forgot about it, so I would recommend having that one and using it in those when you go back and you do those sets with Usher and Lil Jon and all that, those retro hip hop sets. If you throw this in, they go nuts. They love this tune because they forgot about it.
Yeah,
and it's pretty cool. It's a cool tune. I
Oh,
mean,
it is. It is very cool. It's just
yeah,
I hadn't really thought about putting it in with that.
I'm not a fan of the genre personally, but when I go back and look at the stuff, I'm like, yeah, this was pretty good, and that's one of them, and I get a really good response from it.
Yeah,
I
interesting.
don't do it a lot, but it's my shows are always different. I mean, when I do my gig logs, you see the highlight reel, which is usually the same thing over and over again. But the stuff I'm doing in between is really interesting sometimes, and that is a tool to have. That is a tune to definitely have in your library. Next episode,
Yeah.
have it.
Definitely. Right above it, Westlife "Swear It Again" was one of the at that time that was one of my go-to slow songs.
Really,
It was, geez, it was really hot. Westlife being kind of a
yeah,
boy band, early.
British boy band, I think.
Yep, and they were one
Wasn't
of
that a
the.
Simon Cowell production?
Ooh, boy, could they might have been that one. That one I wouldn't. I
I
wouldn't.
think that's Simon, one of Simon Cowell's bands he had. One
That
of
would
his
have been
band.
early, one of his early bands. But yeah, they definitely. I Swear It Again was one that we did a lot with that. And occasionally, when I'm doing like a grand march for a prom, that's kind of a nice one that I use in that situation when I've had to
They
do
had a
music.
slew of hits over in the UK.
And they had.
Just hit after hit after hit over in Europe.
Okay, I got to check this out. Hey, Ian's joining us here. Hey, Ian, how you doing tonight?
What's up, Ian?
Westlife. They had they did a remake.
Of Uptown Girl.
There we go. Uptown Girl.
Yeah.
That was a fun remake.
I can't believe that was even on your radar though.
It was. I liked that version. I would love to have found hoping they would have done a music video and everything for that one.
Yeah.
And I never saw
Very
that.
British. Very British.
But yeah, that was a fun track. I enjoyed that one again. Really wished it would have had a music video. Let's continue up here. The Dre. Forget About Dre.
I don't do well with that one.
That one I don't do well, but I have had people talk about that one, especially when I've been in a bar, wanting to play some early Eminem there.
What people want and what people need are two different things sometimes.
I think that's well said. Yes, and
I mean,
you do
they
not
want
need
that,
this.
but it's like, well, maybe we should do something else instead. And I don't want to blow anything else up on the list, but there are better options, I think.
I would agree. And we're coming
That
up
was
actually.
kind of an odd tune. If the guys just want to like pretend they're rapping to each other at the bar, fine, but no one's coming on the dance floor for that tune.
No,
Not now.
it's gonna kill the fun.
Yeah, there are better options.
Number 71 with DMX. Yeah, first off, that's certainly a better option. And
Yes.
after his video went viral with him doing, the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. If you guys didn't see that, you got to check it out. He did that. It basically was he slapping a table at a radio station, and he did Rudolph. I was actually up. We've got one of our DJs who does a bar, and you can track plays, and I did this track a couple of 3 weeks ago just for the heck of it.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. It has been played, I think, since Christmas about 40 times because they play 4 nights a week.
I'm a believer in that tune. Again, you put it in that set with the Usher and the Lil Jon and all that stuff. Even the Nelly as the surprise one that they forgot about. Just like next episode. And it's a hype tune. I mean, people start jumping up and down to that song.
Yep.
It's really cool.
Yeah,
So,
that definitely has got some legs. That's one that you got to have.
Have
At 70, we've got Train with Meet Virginia. Would you, and granted it's not a dance floor song, but would this one work as kind of that cocktail hour song? Or I'm struggling with that one. Could that work in that time frame?
I suppose anything's possible.
There you go. Just be supportive, Brian. Yeah. Anything.
Well, no, if you have that crowd.
Fart on a microphone too.
Because this stuff is almost, I mean, the best way I can describe this stuff is like mainstream indie music. It's supposed to be like independent, weird stuff, but it's mainstream because that was big. And a lot of those train wreck songs were like that. So,
no pun intended that we're talking about a train song and tell you train wreck.
No, but if you have a crowd that's into that genre and you want to go back a little bit, I think you could definitely use it.
Yeah, and that would be the only spot I could see it being used because it wasn't going to do anything.
It was kind of shit when it came out. I mean, I didn't know what to do with it.
Okay, jumping up to 60 through 69. Speaking of things that were kind of crap, this one's a tough section. There's a couple of things that
There's some
have.
really good ones in here.
Oh, there's. Go ahead. You pick one out. I have a couple of them highlighted, but
Pick
I would
one.
start with one.
Okay,
Don't pick.
one that you can use right now on the dance floor. Is
Yeah.
that what we're going for?
Well, one that you're going to talk about.
Okay, well, there's several here I can talk about. Jeez. I don't know. I really like Faded by Soul Decision. I love that tune.
I do too. That was my number one pick from this section.
That's a hot song, but you can use Shake Your Ass by Mystical.
Yeah.
And you can use Big Pimpin' by Jay-Z.
Oh, geez, I didn't highlight all the way up. Okay, so I missed I had that. I highlighted. I thought so I can see them easier. The Kid Rock song, "Only God Knows Why."
That's really a nice song.
That is a nice song. Now, is it a situational song, or is it just one of those things that is a nice song, but people wouldn't have it on their radar at all, and they'd be like, "What is this?" And I think
People know it. People know it. Country folks know it. People who like rock and roll know it. I wouldn't recommend it for a wedding just because of the subject matter.
Yep.
But it's one of those tunes that you can play at any event that you would play Kid Rock and Sheryl Crow's Picture. It would be the same type of event, and I have those. It's a backyard barbecue. It's a a party kind of out.
Yeah.
Bikers would dig it. Rock and roll dudes would dig it. Just dudes would dig. I don't know. I think it's usable still. Maybe not as a dance song, but you can definitely use it.
Cool. Okay, I got to make sure I'm highlighting the right set of. There we go.
I wouldn't rule it out for nothing.
And there were a couple of other songs in there that were just really wouldn't get you anywhere.
It's over.
Yeah, it's good. In the next set of 10 from 50 to 59, we've got some Red Hot Chili Peppers, 98 Degrees, Filter, Britney, Jessica Simpson. I mean, we've got some big names here.
Yes, we do.
With that being said, I mean, we've got Sting, Eminem, Pink, Next, Everclear. That's our 10.
Yeah. The real Slim Shady, I think, is probably one you can still get away with.
Yeah.
That was the one I was thinking would be a better choice other than Forget About Dre.
For sure.
They asked for Forget About Dre. Say, I don't have it here. I'll play this one instead. And they would be like, cool. And you might get dancers for it. But that one's kind of fun. And I'll just, a personal note here. I love the remix of Take a Picture by Filter.
Yep.
Love the remix of that too. Not the original one, the remix of that one.
Now, did they re-drum and change tempo on that one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I love that tune. It's beautiful. When it hits the chorus, what they dig with it is amazing.
Well, I've got to make a note on that one. I got to get. I've got to.
It's mellow. I mean, I wouldn't say it's a dance song, but it's one that I really enjoy.
And I like the original. I mean, the original I think is a solid tune. That was one that I highlighted in here because I have used this as I'm doing that segue between.
You may be playing what you think is the original, but it's actually the remix.
Now I'm gonna definitely have to do some. There's actually a song up higher. We'll talk about it. Okay. That was a similar situation. That
I know which one you're talking about too. I think.
Let's see.
But yeah, Desert Rose. I can't imagine any time I'd ever play that. And what's funny is you've got tunes here by like Pink, Most Girls, and this was the year that Pink was like an R&B artist.
Mm-hmm.
She came on the scene and she was kind of like any other R&B artist on the chart. It was that stuff. And then she went dance and then she went rock, you know. So she's kind of been all over the place. She's had quite a career when you think about it.
Yeah.
She was in for quite a few years here, 15 years at least. But yeah, she was an R&B artist at this point.
Yeah, and you can definitely tell as you're listening to the tracks from this time frame, recognizable, but
yeah,
it wouldn't be something.
Once in a while, you're going to hear somebody ask for something like "Oops, I Did It Again" by Britney Spears. You should probably have it. Not my go-to Britney song, but
yeah,
there's probably a crowd out there that really enjoys it.
Yeah, somewhere.
Somebody likes it.
There's someone out there. Everyone's got a
right.
Oh. Okay, let's jump up to 40 through 49. Now, this one's got a couple of possibilities.
It's got a lot. Well, I see one. I see two. I see I guess two.
Okay, give me your first one.
Three. I see three.
Give me one of them, right? What do you got?
Well, blue Eiffel 65.
Has still got legs at high schools. I
Yeah.
will have kids requesting that yet to this day.
Yeah, it's a bit like Venga Boys.
Yeah.
The same sort of thing. The interesting thing about that, I remember hearing when they came out, is the way they got that band name. This was internet. I mean, we had internet at this point,
Yes.
and it was some kind of band name generator. You just hit a button and it gives you a random band name.
No way.
And yeah, that's
That's
what
what
they
they
did with Eiffel 65. It was a computer generated band name.
And their SIP name is Generate.
Yep.
So on the other end, Blink, the other track from Blink 182. And this one, All the Small Things, is on.
I was so letting you have that.
Thank you. I
You're
appreciate that. Going down the list between the two extremes, we have a Faith Hill, The Way You Love Me. If you're into a country tune, it's a very nice song. There's a little bit more of an upbeat to it.
It's some auto tune.
It's a what?
Some auto tune.
It's a motto tune. You're gonna have to explain that
Yeah,
to me.
there's that one bit in the pop version of that one. Oh, the way you love me, and there's like there's like that auto tune.
Yep. Okay.
Which was hot.
Well,
then.
for the rest of us, we like to play the official country version. We don't play this.
I would not play the country version. Anyone watching this, don't do it. Play the pop version. It's going to have more of a mass appeal. The country people will hang with it. Don't listen to John Young. He doesn't always.
Yeah, that's true. There is the case, but my cowboy boots and Wrangler jeans would rather hear.
Right. So if you live in the middle of nowhere, play the version John says.
Recommend, yeah. Follow John's list if you're in the middle of nowhere. If you're in the real world. Jumping down to 46, Jagged Edge. Let's Get Married.
Yes.
It was probably one at that time was requested numerous times, and I think it was only requested because of the name. It wasn't that the song was any good or solid for the situation.
Yeah.
Is what I would say.
Well, there's a remix of that one. It's the Reverend Run remix.
Okay.
And that one I get asked for a lot.
Interesting.
The tune It's Like That by Run DMC.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like that. It's that tune to the beat of It's Like That. And yeah, that's one I got to have because people ask for it a couple times a year. Wedding parties will want to dance to that.
But it's a remix because I've
the Reverend Run remix of Jagged Edge's Let's Get Married. Or Jagged Edge featuring Reverend Run. He was going by Reverend Run at the time. And that's the one that people do ask for. That age group, that 20-somethings, even 30-somethings who remember that remix. Because I remember the first time someone asked for it, I played the slow version, like, oh, that's not what we want.
Yeah.
What do you want? And so I had to go research it because I didn't know it. And there was the Reverend Run remix, and it makes a lot more sense. So have that one in have both. But when someone asks for it, I would qualify with you want the slow one or the remix. And if they want that remix, it's that Reverend Run remix.
Yeah, there's another one I've got to look up. See, I get more homework out of these shows. Let's jump up now. We're breaking the top 40. We are at 30 to 39.
Was there anything else in there that we were
looking at? Did we miss? I'm sorry.
I'm just looking here. Let's get married.
My Love is Your Love from Whitney. Then The Morning Comes from Smash Mouth wasn't...
I think we hit it.
I think we hit them.
The big ones in that one. There's quite a few in there.
Christina Aguilera's I Turn to You.
No.
I've heard a remix of that. That was interesting.
I don't have anyone asking for Christina Aguilera anymore.
I'm not a huge fan of playing much of her music, so that's why
I never did.
Yeah.
I never did. I can't.
I think my favorite Christina Aguilera moment was I think she was on. Was she on Jimmy Fallon? One of the nights, and they were doing that singing someone else's, one of those types of routines. The girl is talented.
Oh yeah, she's good.
She's incredible. It's like, wow, I was kind of,
What was that one track she did? Was it Naughty or Dirty or whatever it was? For 30 seconds, that one got requested. But beyond that, I mean, I don't, no one goes back and wants to, in my circles or my audiences anyway, don't want to reminisce about any old Christina Aguilera tunes.
No, not so much.
And there's other Christina Aguilera on this list, I believe.
I believe, somewhere.
Or there is definitely more. Yeah, there's a lot more Christina Aguilera on this list.
Okay, let's jump up to that 30 to 39, breaking the top 40. which we do have at 38. We have another Christina Aguilera, Come On Over, Baby.
Yeah.
That one did get requested for 35 seconds,
Right.
and
A
that was
little
gone.
longer.
Enrique, this is his first, as we're going up the list, our first time of hitting one of his songs, Be With You. Maybe 45 seconds that one was requested for, and that one, it was like a quick flash in the pan.
Yeah. There's not much in this group. I mean,
Probably,
there's songs that I like, but there's not much in this group that I think have a lot of, that I would whip out today and play.
yeah. We got
Arms
Creed.
Wide Open.
Yeah.
Once in a while.
I don't
Under
even
a
know.
certain circumstance, maybe.
We've got so much other music that's like, yeah, I probably it's
Almost like a mother's son dance.
if we had to fill an 8-hour show of music from the 2000s, Arms Wide
You
Open
would have
be
to look at my alternate list we'll talk about after we're done with this list.
there. There's,
Totally do it.
hey, Mixwell's got to jump here. He'll watch the rest of it later. So thanks for joining us for a while there.
Thank you, sir. I like Back Here by BB Mac. I like the song.
That was one I highlighted from
I
the
really
section.
enjoy it. Geez, what else is on here? Bring It All to Me by Black is cool.
Now,
like that
but
tune.
if I were going to be playing a song from Black, I would. I was looking at it. It was 808 was the song, and this is the song. If you go to iTunes and you look for 808, you're going to have Black's 808, and it's kind of a slow one that doesn't work. Now you go search for it on YouTube, and you'll find the version that was released to DJs at that time, which was a 808 remix. I didn't write everything down with it.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm going to find out because this was 808. And where is it? Because this particular, the remix of it is the one that you definitely want, because the rest is
sure.
not. There we go.
There's tons of turds on this list too.
She ain't got that boom like I do.
Yeah.
Now, different sassiness, we'll call it, what have you. That song was a hit actually for us from Black. And we'll probably find out it's in next week's list or something. That's okay.
Lots of throwaway R&B, lots of throwaway ballads.
Sonique with It Feels So Good is an interesting track from the standpoint it's when people would be like, oh yeah, I remember hearing it, but it's not quite fast enough to use for a dance floor, but it's not quite slow enough to be even, make that segue.
I've had a lot of people ask for it.
But I think it's she had kind of a unique sound. Would be the best way to describe that.
You got to really like it to catch the groove and dance to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to describe it. 9 Days. I'm sure you had the story of a girl. I'm sure you had that highlighted as one of your go-to songs.
It's one of my go-to. No, that's more of that. Stuff I was talking about with Trainwreck earlier. I just don't like that stuff. I was so happy to see it go away.
Oh, okay. Let's jump up. Hitting. We're going to touch the top 20. Well, we're going to get up to 20 to 29. In that set. Now we're getting into some tracks that are still here today, and a few of them that I've moved into that kind of segue between the dinner and the dance time frame. One that I still get requests for, not especially in bar situations, is Nelly's Country Grammar at 29.
Right.
There's other Nelly. I think that would be better.
I would go Hot in Here every time.
Yeah, exactly.
My go-to Nelly tune. I think I would probably do Ride With Me before I did Country Grammar.
Mm-hmm.
Off of that album.
Yeah.
Up in next year's thing. The tune here on this one.
Oh no! Did we freeze up? We froze up. Is our stream still good? Well, gang, this is once again one of the fun parts of doing live shows when the internet can freeze here. I'm not sure if Brian is connected or if we lost it here, if we lost it there. From what I'm seeing, you guys are still seeing the stream. I believe I believe things. Yep. Okay, you guys are still seeing the stream. It's headed out there. So, well, while Brian's reconnecting here, we'll talk about a couple of the songs that aren't danceable, but there's actually one in here from Macy Gray at 26. Macy Gray's "I Try" at 26 is actually one that I have put into that segue time to go from that dinner to that dance, because it's kind of a almost a sing along feel, and it's something that people can kind of get. The people who remember it. Okay, good. Thanks, Tony. But it's something people will remember, and they can engage with the song as it's going along and such. I'm just going to switch. There we go. So I've got a better camera here for you guys to see. So Macy Gray's "I Try" at 26 is one. At 27 is "In Sync" with "It's Gonna Be Me." There's obviously multiple "In Sync" songs that could be done. We actually have two of them in this segment. Up at 21 is "Bye Bye Bye." "Bye Bye Bye" would probably be my go-to, but I've also had people that have wanted to do kind of an "In Sync" dance that have requested "It's Going to Be Me." In this 10 from 20 to 29, I really there's a couple of Mark Anthony tunes, a Montel Jordan, but really nothing that's going to stand out and say this has got to be on your list. I'm sure that Montel Jordan might be more of on Brian's list, but from my standpoint, it just isn't a big one on my list. Okay, so we're going to try to see if Brian's. Hopefully, he's going to be coming back with us here in a bit. So before we jump into the top 20 and get through and wrap up, the next couple of weeks we're going to be going through and going and taking the next set of tracks and such. So that way you guys will have an idea of 2001, 2002 and such. Hey, he's back.
Hey, sorry about that.
Just hang on. Audio's really low again.
Oh no!
There we go.
Why is my audio low?
I'm not sure.
I don't know. I haven't changed it.
There you go. Now you're coming back to us.
It just takes a moment, I think.
Okay.
Zoom out a little bit. We're getting a little intimate here.
There we go. Nice.
Sorry.
No problem. Okay.
We're back. Good old internet connections.
Yep. Just was. There we go. Yep. We are back. Back.
Sorry, guys.
So just talking, Macy Gray was kind of one. There's two "In Sync" in this one. "Bye Bye Bye" being the stronger of the two.
Yes. That's a go-to song for me still.
Yeah, exactly. "Bye Bye Bye" I think is a very solid one. Is there anything else that stood out to you in this section?
Not anymore.
Okay.
I mean, "Get It On Tonight," Montel Jordan back in the day got play. Both "I Need to Know" and "You Sang to Me" by Mark Anthony back in the day got play, as did Brian McKnight's "Back at One" for a ballad.
Did he have two versions of that? A ballad, which is the main one. Didn't Brian McKnight have a fast one that he did in that? Or am I thinking someone else?
I don't think so.
Okay.
The one he did that was really big was a couple years earlier, and it was called it's a really nice song too, and I'm totally brain farting on it.
Yeah, okay.
Anyway, he did another one that was really nice.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I wasn't sure, and it just kind of struck me as, gosh.
It was kind of like almost like Tony Braxton-ish, but it was a guy. So, when people still played slow songs at gigs, that one was a nice one.
Yeah. Yeah, and truthfully, I don't play as many slow songs at gigs.
I think it was called "Do I Ever Cross Your Mind Anytime?" I think it was called "Anytime." A nice song that he did a couple years previous. But it was like a breakup song, so you wouldn't play it at a wedding.
Not a wedding appropriate song.
Of course.
Okay, this time let's go up to 11, so that way we'll save 10 through 1 for our final group. So we're going 11
through 11 it is.
Through 19. And we started off at 19 with a Christina Aguilera song, "What a Girl Wants."
Uh-huh.
Was that requested for over 30 seconds, or did it only be requested for 25 seconds?
Maybe an entire minute, but that was about it.
Yeah, that was at that point in time, but it might have been. But yeah, definitely nothing that has the staying power.
Janet Jackson at that point, this one was not hot.
Doesn't really matter as a song.
For a second was "All for You." That was a really nice one for a minute. I wish I could still get away with playing that, but the audiences don't really respond well to it. But it's a cool song. "All for You," Janet Jackson. But unfortunately not the one that's right here we're looking at. Let's see. The Thong Song by Cisco. Once in a while people are asking for this one.
Mm-hmm.
Not daily, but it does come up. I would say "Own It." Music by Madonna. No. Well, back then, yeah, but The last great Madonna song was, I think, in '99, and that was "Beautiful Stranger."
Yep.
That was the last thing Madonna did that I thought had any legs at all, and got some play. Let's see what else. Kryptonite, Three Doors Down, more of that train wreck stuff. Jumpin'. Back then, yeah, probably. The Elia was just kind of throwaway R&B stuff. So yeah, that's my breakdown of that one.
Yeah. There just wasn't a great. The Cisco song was the thong song was an interesting song at that particular time, because that was one that, again, I was doing a lot of high schools at this particular time, and there were high schools that loved it, and advisors would like, yeah, you can play this. And there were most of them that were like, but it was, oh my gosh, this was just a hugely popular song, because I think it was just, oh my gosh, they're singing about that. And so the kids were really into that.
I would say still own it.
Yeah, I definitely think you need to have it, especially because it's one of those that will be, hey, can you play that for me? I got $20. You can play it, that kind of a thing, more than anything else. But
well, I don't know. I get those weddings once in a while where they want to hear that retro R&B stuff, and that's just something that the girls did a dance to way back when, or whatever the case might be. Kind of like the bye thing.
So if they would have been at this particular time, if they would have been, say, about 15, so we're talking their early 30s right now.
Yes.
And that's your wedding. That could be your wedding party.
Age. Absolutely could be. Could be the bridesmaids.
Could you be hitting them right there?
Yeah. It's funny for them. So I would say definitely on that.
Okay. Let's go through our top 10 here.
Starting at number 10.
Tony Braxton. He wasn't man enough.
No.
A go or no go?
Go away.
Okay.
It was a go then.
Yeah, that was my thought too. It's like, how did they get up there? At number 9, Matchbox 20 with Bent.
More train wreck stuff for me. I'm not playing it.
At number 8, the country band Lone Star with Amazed.
Heck yeah, but I play the pop version, which is really strong.
Well, out here in the sticks, we get our Wranglers
on. I don't
know
how different they are.
We put our big belt buckle on. It's the size of it, and then we listen to Lone Star Country.
It's like the Shania Twain's Still the One. It's the same song. They just get rid of the slide guitar in the B section. But the pop version of that I know of Amazed it's a very well produced song.
Yeah, both.
I don't think it's going to insult any country people.
Not a bit. No,
it's really nice. So and I play that a lot.
Very much so. That is definitely a wedding song. Have it. Definitely a wedding song. At number 7, Savage Garden with "I Knew I Loved You."
No.
Really? Now, not that it would have the legs to play often today, but this is actually one that I would use. What's that?
It's wedding appropriate.
Oh yeah, exactly. This is one I have used in the dollar dance.
The what?
The dollar dance.
Oh, the dollar dance.
The money dance.
Yeah, you know what? I think you're onto something there.
Because I don't want to kill a good song, and I don't want to kill something that's too romantic. Like Amazed is probably maybe not quite getting there, but some slow songs are just like too much of a couple. That I'll make love to you.
This is a monster for me, by the way. That is a monster song for me. At my weddings today, the pop version again.
Yeah,
but it's a huge one. That's one that I put way up there because I love those country crossover songs.
Exactly,
because it satisfies everybody.
Just looking at some of the questions here. There was a question about, we've been mentioning some of the remixes and some of the pop versions.
Mm-hmm.
The remix like of 808 that we talked about earlier, the only place I think you could find that is, boy, so we're looking at a song that's 15 years old. I wonder if the only place you could find it and buy it legally, there's the key, might be it was a music video from Promo Only.
Well, try Amazon. You never know.
Yeah, Amazon would be, because it's not on iTunes in that particular case. Some of these pop versions of these songs, they are on iTunes. You can look and you'll find a country version and a pop version.
Right.
So
I always looked at it. I mean, I was getting promo onlys back then. So, and I got the country promos, and I would, sometimes I'd like, for Shania Twain Still the One, I actually do the country version because it's close enough. And, but for Amaze, it's just the production on the intro of that is just gorgeous. And it's number 8 on the singles charts. It wasn't just a country song. It was a crossover track.
Yeah, very much so.
And so this is a pop song.
Yeah.
although it's a country band.
And at number one, we have another situation similar to that, but we'll get to that in just a couple of minutes.
Yes.
Now, at number 6, we have Destiny's Child with "Say My Name."
No,
Yeah,
go away.
I'd say that would go. 5 with Vertical Horizon, "Everything You Want."
Ooh, that's another train wreck song, man. I don't like it, and I didn't play it then.
Number 4, Joe came in with "I Want to Know."
Throwaway R&B. You don't need it.
It is. As you listen to it, it's like, okay, I wanted to. It's like, oh, I think I remember it. So it's like, yeah, I remember it, and it's a slow R&B.
There's a saying in urban circles from music, and if anybody's watching who's in those circles, and that is, if it's not new, it's through, and that's the case with most of the R&B that gets released from on that chart, or was anyway. Now I think it's predominantly hip hop, but yeah, it's got to be really fresh for people to dig it. And anything that's old is just like old stale bread. You got to get rid of. Nobody's romanticizing it unless it's fantastic.
Yes.
In which case it has staying power, but most of the time it doesn't.
Yeah, and I don't think Joe's, while being a decent track and better than many of the other throwaways on this list.
Number 4 on the top 100 of the year. Yeah.
Yeah, but it still wasn't.
Right.
Let's see, 2 and 3. I was surprised that Santana hit number 2 and number 3.
It's kind of weird, eh?
That was that was something. I came in at number 3 with Maria Maria and number 2 with Smooth.
I think number 3 really, even at the time, I felt like it tried too hard.
Mm-hmm.
There are like 2 was natural. It was beautiful.
Yep.
But for some reason, when they wrote 3 and they did it and all that, they were trying to do a pop song. And I don't think it quite.
It didn't hit. It didn't hit with me. And
on the dance floor.
So again, number 3 was Maria Maria from Santana, and number 2 with Smooth with Rob Thomas.
I still play Smooth to this day.
Yep. That was definitely a song with legs.
Rockers, Latinos, people who like alternative music, people who like top 40 music, you're going to please everybody with that. And people know it. It really has staying power. So I give it a big thumbs up.
Yeah. And the number 1 track of the top 100 from 2000, the year 2000, is from Faith Hill. The song is called "Breathe."
Mm-hmm. And I play it. And I almost get angry with myself when I don't play it.
Which version do you play?
I don't even know.
This is one that also had 2 versions. There was more of a country feel. They were. I don't know if you could
have a country feel, don't they?
I don't think you could tell a difference between the 2. It might have been the same song released for all I know.
I'm not aware that there's 2 versions of this song. Because
and it might have been 2 releases, but the song definitely, as you say, you play it, it has legs.
Right.
Faith Hill just did a fabulous job with that
Very
song.
wedding appropriate. Nice slow song, nice crossover song. So you're hitting on all 8 cylinders on this tune. It's a good one to have.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Definitely a good song. I definitely number 1 and number 2 on our top 100 for the year. I definitely think they hit right there. Some of the other ones,
own them.
Those are definitely some you need to get on your list.
Yes.
Okay. So ladies and gentlemen,
what do we have?
What's that?
This is where it gets fun. This is where it gets fun for me because I get to grab stuff that wasn't on the Hot 100 that I think might actually work. And if it doesn't, I like it. So I'm just going to tell you about it.
Exactly. So we've got a few extras now, gang, that we have picked out.
Yes.
Look through some charts. I want to try to get to, where's my list?
And that's what I did. I looked through charts. I looked through some global charts. I looked through some of my music collection and a couple of things I wasn't sure about. So I looked at release dates and I got them from that.
Cool.
So.
All right.
And I got a healthy list here.
Nice. So let's go through your list because I had a couple of them. I remember, I think I had like 3. is all I picked out, and I only remember one of them. And I looked, and I just deleted it all a few minutes ago. And
Oh, that's okay. I can carry this one.
so
And this
I
is where you see how weird I am.
well, we know that going into this. Now,
You know, I don't think people really realize
this
how weird I am. I think people think that I'm a pretty normal guy, but I'm not. I'm really wacky with my music. I'm all over the place.
reinforces that. Let's put it that way.
This is definitely reinforces who the heck I am. So, I don't know how many tunes I got, 20 some tunes here, but the first tune I have, and I'm not suggesting you own it, but I just really like it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's by a band called Public Domain. It's called Operation Blade. A version of this song came up in the movie Blade with Wesley Snipes, the vampire killer.
Oh, yeah.
And this was the tune they were playing in the bloodbath scene where they turned the sprinklers on and all the blood went everywhere. And Operation Blade took this and used it for they actually sampled Flavor Flav from Public Enemy going bass in the place, London. It's a really hip, like techno kind of song.
Mm-hmm.
Heavy trancey techno track. And of course they didn't have permission to do that, so they had to redo it and have somebody else saying bass in the place, London, with fake crowd noise behind it. But I have the original, and once in a while I play it. I even played at schools.
Interesting.
Because I'm building up to like Darude Sandstorm. I'm really trying to hype them.
Yeah.
It's familiar enough from the movie where they know it.
Okay.
Hot track. I love the track. And if you can, and I'll admit, I got it back in the Napster days. It was the bootleg that came through that you can't buy because it's got Flavor Flav's voice on it. But that's the version I play. It's like 8 minutes long, and it's 8 minutes of just like joy. I love the song.
Interesting.
That's one on my list. The next one I think is one that would be a really good idea to have because I've used it as a crossover track a couple of times when I've had somebody who really wants to hear Bob Marley and they don't want to hear anything off of the Legend CD. Because
Okay.
I don't know how many you DJs have Bob Marley's Legend. Do you own it, John? It's the greatest hits.
I owned it on CD, but I don't even know if I've ripped it.
Okay.
I ripped it, but yeah, I had it. I had it on CD. I'm pretty sure.
Buffalo Soldier. Could You Be Loved? You know, the typical Bob Marley.
Mm-hmm.
This is by a remix by Funkstar Deluxe, and it's a remix of Sun is Shining by Bob Marley versus Funkstar Deluxe. And it's a really fun track to have. They've turned it into a complete dance track. A Bob Marley dance track is kind of a cool thing to have around. And I've impressed a few people with this. Like, oh my God, I've never heard this. This is great.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a really nice song because the original Sun is Shining is like boom, boom, you know, typical Bob Marley stuff. But this is like way up there. This is like 134 BPM. It's really fast and fun. So.
And where did you get that track from?
Actually, that came up on promo only.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And I think I ended up with it on like some Now CDs too. But I know that came up on a promo only. I don't know if it was Rhythm Radio or what it was, but that's where I got it.
Sure. Okay.
And you know, it was one of those things I used to listen to at work when I worked somewhere else, like in the truck. And I'd listen to my promos every month to kind of get familiar with it. And that was like, oh my God, what a cool tune. So, and I have used it. It's a good one. Next up, believe it or not, this came out in September of 2000. And that would be DJ Casper's The Cha Cha Slide. You got to have it.
Yeah.
Never chart? No. Never charted.
Not a bit.
But you must have DJ Casper's Cha Cha Slide, aka the Casper Slide Part 2.
Mm-hmm.
That's one you should have because everybody knows it. And I don't know, I play it all the time.
It's required. Yeah, you've got to have it.
Even if I don't want to, I play it.
There is that.
Don't play any line dances. But what if they request them? Well, if they request them, play them. Well, guess what they do? They request them. I just like this song. I dig it for whatever reason. It's not something I would normally like, but I really like it, and that's Yellow by Coldplay. I really like that song. I don't know that I'd ever play it at a gig. This next one, here's another one that I might play it during like some chill stuff. It'd be the perfect song to play if you're during cocktails at a party and you just want to put something kind of cool on.
Yep.
And that's Porcelain by Moby.
Ooh.
It's a beautiful song.
That's a long boy. That one's been a long time. I don't think I probably haven't heard that since.
It's a nice tune.
the early 2000s.
There's another song on that album that I like, but there's a remix of it I like better, and we'll talk about it next week. And here's a personal favorite. Once in a while, I play it, and it came out in 2000. It really wasn't on the radar in the U.S. maybe for another year or two, and that's "I See You, Baby" by Groove Armada.
No, I don't know if I know that one.
I see you, baby, shaking that thing. Or they say it was on commercials and everything else.
Yeah.
It's a really cool tune. There's a version where she's shaking that ass, but I play the shaking that thing version from Promo Only. Hi, Nick Hahn. I hope you're watching. So that's a cool tune. Another one I like is called "Stop the Rock" by Apollo 440. It's a personal favorite.
I think that one I've just because I remember the Apollo 440 being an unusual name. So back in the day, we used to listen to all the discs when they would come out, and you'd be like, okay, which ones are going to be a hit in the club? Well, this is unusual.
Yeah. It's kind of it is a very unusual song. It's a dance song, but it's kind of rock, kind of something else. I don't know. Game showish. I don't know what to call it, but I like the song.
Almost popish, rockish, bubblegumish.
A little bit.
A little,
it's really raw. It's a good tune. Get Down by Paul Johnson, one of my favorite dance tracks from back then. A really nice one. If I had a cool enough audience, I could play it for them. I've played it at clubs before, even well after the fact.
I've got to check that one out.
Get down, 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 down. Good tune. A really weird one by an act called WAMD Project. It's called King of My Castle. I don't know why I like it. I just like it. It's one of those weird tunes that I dig for whatever reason.
This is where everyone's finding out exactly how eclectic in your music taste.
What is he talking about? Beautiful Day by U2 came out in 2000. It's a really nice song, and for a minute, you could play it at a gig. People liked it, and they would actually, the U2 fans would dance to it. And I'm not a U2 fan at all, but I really like that song.
And now this would be the one, if you were breaking down, you could play it while you're breaking down.
Yes, you could. But I genuinely like the tune. It's a good tune. Let's see. Next up, I've got Kids by Robbie Williams and Kylie Minogue.
Oh, yeah.
If you know anything about me, I love me some Kylie Minogue. And it's not like creepy. Like if I ever met her, I'd want to like take her for ice cream. I just love her. I love her. And so Robbie Williams is another guy from back then who I really enjoy. He was in the boys band Take That in the 90s. He had a solo career, and the guy, man, he's done some really good stuff. Most of it didn't hit in the States. And I'm so surprised this guy isn't acting, because he's funny and he's sharp and he's good looking, and it's just weird that he hasn't hit. But I really enjoy that song. There's another one called Time to Burn by a band called Storm. The music video is fun on that one.
I think I've heard this one, yeah.
And watch the music video on this one. It's about Thai kickboxing. It's kind of funny. And boy, if you really, really, really want to get me excited, we'll talk about this song. This is Kylie Minogue. Like if I could like actually have her, I would want her like time capsuled in this music video with the gold hot pants and that Spinning Around by Kylie Minogue. In fact, the entire Light Years album is good, but the Light Years album actually came out in I think 99, but it started charting in England, in Australia, obviously Australia. It was all through the charts in 2000. So wonderful, wonderful, wonderful stuff. This next one was originally, and I don't have the original, but I like the release of it just fine. Was originally a sample. There's a song called "You See the Trouble with Me" by Barry White and Ray Parker Jr. And there was a live version of it. I think it was on the B side of the single. This Black Legend sampled this and made this crazy cool dance track out of it. But of course, they sued. So they had to have their own guy in the band record the vocal, and it's fine. It's really nice. So the song is called "You See the Trouble with Me." The band is Black Legend. Tons of fun. tons and tons of fun. I love the track. I think it's probably still really hot over in Europe for like mobiles.
I got to check that one out too.
I just personally like it. I would never play it at a gig, but I just like the tune. This one I have played at gigs. It's been a while, but I have. Came out in '99, charted heavily in 2000, and that is "Don't Call Me Baby" by Madison Avenue, an Australian act.
And
A guy and a girl. I forget her name. As soon as the album "The Polyester Embassy" was done, they shortly split up. She's singing country maybe in Australia, and then he went on to produce a lot of dance music in the UK.
they had that track, and then we talked about the
Reminiscing.
Reminiscing, yeah.
They also had one called "Who the Hell Are You?" that was kind of fun.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Remember that one?
Forgot about that one. Yeah, that was pretty good. During that early 2000s time frame, and that was, again, internet was starting, and we could stream some radio stations, and there was a station from Perth that we could, and we were streaming, and that song was hot during that time. Who the hell are you? So we got to listen to it an awful lot.
Yeah, good tune.
Yeah, that brings back some memories.
Next up, we have Kernkraft 400 with Zombie Nation.
Oh yeah.
You know that one?
Oh yes.
I think it turned up in like Shaun of the Dead.
It came out in, or as far as, I don't know if it made any. It came out with the music services. We had it there. It was really short too, wasn't it? I think it was like a 3.
Of it.
Yeah, I think what we had was a short version, but
it's a very ravey song. Like if you
yeah.
have a crowd that
Just
knows it, it's very like glow stick whistle, hands in the air kind of tune.
Yeah, it's the power driving. Yeah,
and even the singing. Oh,
exactly. You can drop this into other situations and such. You know, when you were talking Sandstorm earlier, this was one at that time we were playing with, working the two together and how we could make those two work together.
Even if people don't know it, I think the song's got so much energy, they'll just follow everybody else and go with it. It's one of those cool tunes that way.
And I think that little chant you were just referring to, people have heard versions of that enough that it would be common enough that they could just go with it.
Oh, that. Oh, yeah. It's good tune. Good tune.
Yeah, good find there.
This is a 2-4 on the next one. First of all, my favorite one, and then the popular one. My favorite one by Darude is called "Feel the Beat," which was the follow-up to Sandstorm. I like "Feel the Beat" a lot better than Sandstorm. And of course, the next one would be Sandstorm. So we don't need to say much about that one, except you need to own Sandstorm.
And there's multiple. There's lots of mixes of that one out there.
What, Sandstorm?
Yeah.
Well,
you get your radio
the one off of the album. What's it called? After the Storm.
Gosh,
I think it's called After the. The album's called After the Storm, and that's the version you want. It's a single version. It's not super long. I think it's like a 3.5 minute long song. Yep. That's the version that everybody knows, and it's got a lot of breaks in it, but people even react to those breaks.
Exactly, and that's where your MC skills with the right crowd. This is your time to hype the crowd, do some different things, or
even just your lighting design and your lighting skills. Like, it's one of those really dramatic songs, like boom, and then it goes on this. That's blackout. That's maybe some light strobe. I mean, you can really hype a crowd with that kind of stuff.
Yeah, this is Sandstorm was one that you designed your light show basically for that song, especially the strobe part of the show. Okay, how come you need to have, I had the large, what were they, 1,500 watt American DJ mega strobes or whatever they were. So I had 4 of those, and we'd have to go to different circuits because they're pulling too much electricity, and they're like,
so worth it for that
why are you doing all this? You don't use strobes. I use it for one song.
For one song, for like 15 seconds.
But boy, for
that drum, I know what you're talking about. I know where you're even using it.
Yeah, exactly. But boy, for that 15 seconds, it was awesome.
It's fine. I don't want to veer off this too much, but that's funny that people don't think about lighting like you do, and I think they should. They see a light and they say, okay, well, yeah, that's going to get old after a while. Well, of course it is. Anything gets old after a while, but if you just use it for a few seconds and then don't use it anymore, that's powerful.
Oh, yeah.
I think. And that's worth it. It's very worth it.
I can't think of another song, though, recently, Brian, that was so obvious, like that song with strobes being part of that song.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I can't think of anything recently that would really say, oh my gosh, it's interesting.
Now you could probably do I don't know, a lot of that stuff that came out maybe 5, 6 years ago, the LMFAO stuff, the Chris Brown stuff, the real danceable, stuff. There are some breaks and things in there. Maybe you could, but not as obvious as this. No.
Yeah, I think that just interesting.
Next up, I have Spiller's Groove Jet. I don't know if you know that
No, I
tune.
don't.
Uh, it's actually Sophie Ellis Bextor, if you're familiar with her. She's an Irish. She was a model.
No, I'm not familiar with her.
She became a singer. I really like her.
Mm-hmm.
She's got some tunes I'll talk about probably next week that I really enjoy, and probably even the week after. She's a very pretty girl. Can't dance for nothing in her videos, but I like her music a lot. And the first time I ever heard her voice was in the Spiller track, Groove Jet. Very nice song. And what the hell does it samples a Chic song? Go figure. Next up, we have Majo's Lady. Hear Me Tonight came out in the year 2000. Great song.
Which song was that? I'm sorry. I'm trying
Lady
to.
by Majo came out in the year 2000. Remember it didn't chart here? Well, it charted somewhere.
Yeah.
And that's when it was on the charts.
Interesting.
In the fourth quarter of 2000, everywhere else in the world.
But here.
Pardon?
But everywhere but here.
Yes. But it gets played here. People know it now. It happened. It crossed over through social media or whatever. But yeah, it's a cool track. Samples Soup for One by Chic. Track that came out in like 83 or something. It was for a movie that was terrible, but at least we were able to get that sample and use it. Next up, if you have not seen this music video, I highly recommend you watch it. It's very funny. It grosses out my kid. Some people think it's funny. Some people think it's gross. And that is Robbie Williams, a rock DJ. And was alive at that time to watch this video. It gives you an idea who Robbie is. He's very funny. He's just an actor.
Mm-hmm.
The video is very good. Rock DJ by Robbie Williams.
I don't remember the video. I remember the song, but I don't know.
Watch the video.
No, I've got to watch the video. Jeez.
The video is just special.
More homework.
He has a pair of underwear in that video that to this day I'm still trying to find a pair of underwear like this.
No.
When you watch the video, keep that in mind. I'm still looking for that underwear.
So I'll keep that. I'll keep that in mind.
Still looking for that.
Video of meat is what somebody posted.
Pardon?
Somebody posted video of meat.
Yes, just take that, get no more explanation of it, and watch the video and enjoy it.
Okay.
It's very good.
Underwear and meat, and I'm going to enjoy it. Thanks, guys.
No, it's funny. It's really funny, and it's one of those videos. You know how like Michael Jackson's Thriller, well, you know that one.
Yeah.
Money for Nothing, Dire Straits. For anybody, well, other people in the rest of the world, Rock DJ is that video. It's that good. You know it because the video is good, and I think it was probably so big because the video was good. So
Interesting. I'll have to check that out.
Great video. Get it. Watch it. Next up is one just a personal favorite. Life is a Roller Coaster, Ronan Keating. Totally not usually the kind of music I like, but for some reason that song just chills me out and I love it. It's a good tune. And then I'm on to my last two here.
Mm-hmm.
And the first one, this was originally a Russian song, and a German act redid it. And it was good. And the Russian version is good too. Not as good though. This has better production in it. Obviously, English is a lot easier to listen to than Russian when they're singing. And they made a couple little changes, but it's very nice. And it's a band called ATC. The song's called Around the World.
Somebody actually mentioned that. How far back? Bill Holderby mentioned that song.
On Cali.
Yep, that was one that he mentioned. ATC.
I love that song, and I don't know why. I should hate it, but I don't. I love it, and I don't. Geez, I haven't played it in a long time at a gig, but I used to play it at gigs. It's a very, very nice song.
Mm-hmm.
And my number one song, and I've mentioned my favorite songs before, and this is always on the tip of my tongue when I mention favorites because it's way up there in my favorite songs of all time, and it hasn't changed. And every time I hear it, I feel good. And that is "One More Time" by Daft Punk.
And that didn't chart.
It did in 2001, but it hit the dance charts in December of 2000.
Ah,
It
okay.
was released in, I think, November of 2000 as a single, and the album Discovery was actually released, I think, in January of 2000.
Gotcha.
The song's actually from 2000, so
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that samples 1979's Eddie John's "More Spell on You." I've reworked it before. It's one of my videos I did way, way, way back. I did. It's a very obscure song. They don't credit, they don't list that in the liner notes. Apparently, there's some laws about sampling where if the sample's short enough, you don't particularly have to credit it.
Okay.
And they didn't. And it's kind of cool. I mean, the whole Daft Punk Discovery album, which I can talk about more next week, is an amazing album. And the title of Self-Discovery is kind of interesting because for me, it made me discover music. It made me dig and try to find out what this stuff was. And I actually did discover a lot of new music in the process because I go online and the rumor mill was, oh, it's a sample from this. Oh, it's a sample from that. And you listen, you try to hear it. Sometimes you did, sometimes you didn't. But in the meantime, you got turned on to something fun.
Mm-hmm.
So, and later on, I found out that this was most of the artists that were sampled, not all, were actually produced by, I don't remember if it was Gear Tomas's father. So that's how they had the connection with that stuff. He was a music producer in France.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's what I got for you.
Cool,
It's my
cool.
list. My list of weird stuff. There's a couple on there you should have. "One More Time" you should have by Daft Punk. "Lady" by Majo you should have. Absolutely. "Sandstorm" by Darude.
Yep.
The current Craft 400 Zombie Nation probably isn't a bad idea to have just in case you do schools and things like that. It's not a must, but probably not a terrible idea. "Don't Call Me Baby" Madison Avenue. Have it.
Okay, Brian, I'm thinking out loud here.
Yes.
Would there be a way to use Zombie Nation and shoot, I just lost the song. It was, I think last year it came out, but it's got the big break, or maybe it's 2 years ago. Oh, I lost it. Sorry.
Well, you'll think of it.
Yeah, it's a
Great
song.
with this stuff. Have fun with it.
Turn down for what?
Turn down for what?
Yeah.
That would be really interesting.
Could a person put those together? Because that would be an awesome, because Turn Down for What, you've only got so much of it that you can really do. You do a section of it because you give too much and it just sucks. It's the same thing over and over.
It'd be very interesting to look at the BPMs.
Yeah, I wonder if a person could do something like that too.
I don't think the BPMs are particularly super high on.
No, they're not. But it would have to be a slam mix at the right point. And
you could. Oh yeah, you could slam it for sure.
And I wonder if there's a nice spot. Now I'll have to research that.
I've also done things when I've been mixing, just since we're on the subject, where there's been that really weird break in the song,
Mm-hmm.
and I've either mixed into or faded into or slammed into something else, or it was damn near seamless and nobody knew the difference, and played a different song, and at the end of that song, gone back into the track I mixed out of.
Yep.
It's fun, and it blows people's minds. Like, oh my god, it's back, and it's like, I don't know, I've done it. It's fun.
That was Levels and
Yes.
Levels and Flow Rider's song. I mean, it was too easy to do.
Yeah.
But it was going back and forth, and they're like, oh,
Right. Mm-hmm. Way too easy to do on those because of the vocal.
Almost identical, yeah, because you could.
But I always did the instrumental of Levels. I never did the vocal of that one.
I wanted to hit that vocal for that, just a hair bit out of it.
Sometimes I get a good feeling. Yeah.
Yeah, see, now we're getting distracted from our topics.
No, we're talking music. That's what we do on Tuesdays.
So Juan's going to do a remix. Now I don't know if he's going to do a remix of what we've been talking about, or if he's got the song going through his head right now, and he's just going to do a remix on his own.
Fun with the stuff. I mean, it's all about being creative, and the more music the more tools you have to be creative with. I've woken up in the middle of the night before, and I'm like, oh my god, these two songs belong together, and I've sat down and I've mixed them and worked them out. It happens.
The only song that I remember from the ones that when I was searching through the 2000 chart songs
Mm-hmm.
was a country tune. You're welcome.
Okay.
The song was a remake of a Statler Brothers song, "Flowers on the Wall," and this was done by Eric Heatherly.
Oh,
Now,
really?
the I like this version a little bit better than the Statler's. First off, the Statler's Brothers that I have on their greatest hits sounds like it was recorded in the 50s. It just doesn't have a great quality sound. So we have
What
a
is
better.
that song? Early 70s?
I think it was somewhere in that early 70s time frame,
Okay.
somewhere in that early to mid.
73 sticks out in my head
Just
for some reason.
doesn't have a really at least the recording I have, but it has that that twang and that charm of early older country that people like. But if I want to, have something with a little bit more beat to it, a little bit more drum behind it, and have a little more of drive, the "Flowers on the Wall" from Eric works wonderfully. And of course, there's also a promo-only video for it, which when I'm doing video dances makes it appealing also. So
Right on.
there was another track or two that I had, but I don't remember what those were. But it was, you covered the big ones right there. I mean,
Covered a lot of stuff.
Yeah, some good stuff there.
Just kind of and this is where I have fun. I mean, I really, really, really was getting into a lot of music at this time personally. This was almost the end of my prison sentence with my daughter's mother. So it was right. This was the last year I was captive.
Mm-hmm.
In 2001, I'm all by myself. And what am I going to do? I'm a single dad out there. I'm listening to music.
Yeah.
I'm digging for music. I have an internet connection. I'm finding all this stuff, and I'm exploring the British charts, and all of a sudden it's like, wow, there's a lot of great music out there. I was discovering it, having so much fun. So yeah, this is going to be the next few weeks are going to be a lot of fun for me because I got a lot of weird stuff I can talk about.
Very much so. Weird stuff, and I think the idea was when we threw the idea out, I wasn't sure how many songs we were going to find in these. By going, we went from decades to now all of a sudden we're doing individual years, and it's like, gosh, are we going to be able to find enough to talk about?
Always plenty to talk about.
There's a lot of stuff out there, and some is good, some is bad. But I mean, of our list today, I mean, there's probably 20 to 25 songs with the ones you added here at the end of solid things that you definitely need, and you'll be playing at probably 75% of the gigs that you do.
You could use it 75% of the gigs.
Yeah, you could use. Yeah. Not that you would, but yeah, that is for sure. So next we're kind of wrap up our music side of our discussion, and we'll get a couple more topics. Next week, gang, we'll be doing the Billboard Top 100 of 2001, and I put a link up, and that website has, if you go to that link, I put it in the chat, and it's up there somewhere. You can click on that and then click to 2001, and that's going to be the list we'll be working with next week. So you guys can get a little head start on us. And I think we'll have to, I like the adding the extra at the end. We'll definitely have to work on that again to get our own little flavor.
Oh, I had so much fun. And I'll be honest, I made this list this morning. I wasn't even thinking about the show until this morning. I was so sick last week, guys. I don't know if it showed in the show we did, but I was dying. And I just started feeling better. And I was like, oh man, I got to prepare for a show. But it was so easy to do because I know this stuff. And I just kind of buzzed through it. It wasn't a matter of what do I like. It's a matter of, ooh, is it a 2000 tune?
Yeah, very much so. And that's okay. No, it wasn't quite.
You never know. I mean, and some stuff is like, okay, and I'm going off of charts too. So I have some leeway here. Did it chart in 2000?
Mm-hmm.
Or was it recorded in 2000 and released in 2000?
Yeah.
Where did it chart? Maybe it charted in Australia in 2000, but it didn't chart here until 2003. It doesn't matter. I was able to do this.
Yep, exactly. So
I'm really having fun with these shows, guys. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you guys for watching. So Brian, at the opening of the show, we talked about talking a little bit about the doing of lighting videos.
Yes.
And let's kind of dig into the behind the scenes a little bit of the lighting videos. The kind of the things people don't see. First off, for those who don't know, there might be one person out there who doesn't know. You do a lot of lighting videos, and you do a lot of things with American DJ. So, kind of tell us a little bit about, what kind of relationship do you have with American DJ? Because some people, are having you.
Well, right. Now, there are people that you may watch on YouTube who are doing videos in their sponsored videos, and they call them reviews. They're not really reviews; they're just kind of sales videos. Um, I started doing this YouTube thing in 2007, January 2007, and I was just kind of doing videos to do videos. So a guy like John up in nowhere in Minnesota could say, okay, this guy in Milwaukee, he had a gig last night too, and okay, he had this problem and this problem, but this was cool. I can relate to that. I thought it would be fun to do, and then people started asking about the products in my videos. So I'd say, okay, fine, let's do it. Let's do a demo. Here's a light I have. It does this and this and this.
Yep.
So it wasn't like a self-serving thing at all. I just want to make that clear to everybody. This was not something where it was like, ooh, I can profit on this. But eventually what happened was I started getting contacted by companies like ADJ. And they were like, hey, look, would you like to check this out? Would you like to show your viewers this light? Well, sure. Yeah, I'm getting a free light. Let's do it. And they would just send it to me and I would do a video on it. And that relationship grew. Mm-hmm. So yeah, with what I do, I feel like it's pretty organic. I'm just talking to people like I'm talking to you right now. I'm not trying to sell them on anything. And as far as prep goes, I just need to know some specifics on the product. I want to know how many watts it is. I want to know what the colors are. I don't need to give everybody everything on the light. They don't have to know everything about the light. They just need to know a few things about it. What's important? What do people want to know? And then it's perspective too. Okay, here's my hand. Here's how big it is, because you can't see that in the product brochure.
Yeah.
And dumb things like, okay, well, you saw it in the demo room. Here it is in my living room.
Oh, very much so.
It's perspective, and people enjoy that. So I enjoy doing it for them.
Yeah, and we can, when we're doing videos, whether it's in living room, office, outdoors, up against a building, wherever you've gone and such, you can show some things, and we can show some things in ways that the manufacturer may not.
Right, and I'm not using camera tricks.
Sometimes. Not saying that they're using camera tricks.
Although
that does happen with
not always ideal environments, is what I mean by
there. We go. Yeah, but we're not in that little room because we've gone through the tour of ADJ, and they have a nice room set up with trussing, and the walls look great, and they can bring fog in there. And in a real world situation, it's never as awesome as that room is.
Right.
It's like, wow, it's really cool.
And then I can run stuff in bigger rooms than they do too. I mean, I can go to a venue like Hot Water, and I can do this big room demo in there. And in fact, I got the room reserved for next week. But now, as far as the videos go, I mean, and I do not only lighting videos, I do a lot of audio stuff for other companies, and I do a lot of how-tos and a lot of things. But yeah, you just kind of, I think about it. I don't script anything, just so you know, I don't script it, but I try to just kind of think about what I want to know about this light. If, I had a question on it, what would I want to know? What would I not really care about? What wouldn't be a big deal to me?
Yep. And
I just try to have empathy for the viewer and show them stuff. So the prep on it, like last night, I did a video on an old pocket spot LZR, and I shot the video and I did everything, and I sat down to edit it, and I looked at my stuff and I said, I don't like it.
Yep.
I mean, the footage of the light doing things is fine, but I didn't like my narrative at all. So I rethought it. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to sit down here in the dungeon and do this narrative. And I'm going to talk about some stuff maybe I didn't hit in the other narrative. I'm really just going by the seat of my pants on this stuff.
Yeah, and I've done the scripting things, and there have been times where I've just gone by the seat of the pants, and I almost have a better response. I feel people enjoy the more unscripted because it's, again, like you and I are talking here.
Yeah.
We're not
people like real. I mean, they really appreciate real.
Yeah, exactly. And it just makes it a lot. On some hands, it's more difficult because when you mentioned that you looked at it and you're like, yeah, I don't like what I said. The number of times I've gone back and reshot a part of the video or reshot the audio because you looked at it and you're like, oh, there's so much I could have taken it a different direction, or I could have talked about this, or there's a feature I completely forgot about in this as I'm so enamored with this aspect of it. And it's like, oh. And a lot of times you guys have called on it where you're like, hey, doesn't it do this too? And it's like, oh yeah.
Yeah, it does.
It does.
The video I did last night, I mean, I didn't feel like going back and doing a re-edit, but I saw some mistakes and I thought, you know what, I'm just going to let it go. I was talking about the brightness of the LED, and I said, yeah, I wanted to say it has a 12.5 watt Cree LED,
Yeah.
and what I ended up saying was it has a 12.5 Cree. I didn't say it was an LED. I didn't. No, a 12.5 Cree LED. I didn't say that was 12.5 watts.
Watts. Yes. Yep. That's what I was
And
getting
I don't
at.
know if anybody caught it or not, but I just left it. The sun's coming up. I'm just going to go with it.
Yeah,
But I enjoy doing it. I really do. But what I want my videos to do, I don't care if you buy those lights or not. I really don't care what you do. Well, what I want to do is have something informative in there for you.
Exactly.
Give you something to think about, and even if you like the look, figure out how you can achieve that look with what you have. I mean, take what you can from it. I'm able to do the amount of videos that I do, and I'm able to dedicate the time that I am able to these videos because of people like ADJ.
Yeah.
Because they've supported the channel very well, and thank you for that. But they're like a sponsor. Like if you watch a TV show, you have a sponsor, and that's who they are for a lot of what I do. I have others too, but they're one of them. And I don't show anybody anything that I think sucks. If I think it's crap, you're not going to see it.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I'll just say to somebody, you know what? I don't get it.
Yeah.
Or it's too hard, or it's not for my audience. Thank you, but this isn't going to work out.
And we definitely have had situations like that where you and I have been talking about a piece of gear, and they're like, "Why?"
Yeah,
it doesn't make sense.
If it's not an improvement on something else, or if it's not intuitive, or if it doesn't make it easier, if it makes it harder, I walk away.
Mm-hmm.
I've tried to really, these shows have been great because I'm like, hey, I'm not the lighting guy. I'm really the music guy. Lighting is what I use to help, with the whole experience of the music. It's not my gig. Lighting isn't something that really makes me hot. It's music that makes me hot.
Mm-hmm.
But having said that, I don't want to have to program my light show.
Exactly. Yep.
I want to concentrate on my music. I want to watch what my crowd's doing, and I want to live in that moment. And I want to be able to play off of them and play the next song. I want to play at the right time. I want to mix it right. Or if maybe, oh, geez, you know what? I was going to go in this direction, but I'm not going to because the audience did this instead of that. I need to switch it up. I'm not sitting around worried about what my lights are doing all the time.
Yeah.
I push a button and they do this. I push a button and they do that. Done. And that's just me, And I think a lot of teachers are like that.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I was just going to say. There's a lot out there because when they're watching your videos or we were talking about different controllers and things, and this simple is much more appealing than I think we really realize at times.
Right. And I get it as a DJ. So that's the empathy I think I have for the audience. And that's what I feel like that I have to offer is here's an option for you that is not going to be too hard. You do this and it does that. Isn't that cool?
Mm-hmm.
That's I don't know if I even answered your question on that, John. I just refer.
No, that was good. That was good. I want to wrap things. We're at an hour and a half, and I want to wrap things up here in a few minutes. One last thing I want to talk about before we shut down is the times when we get gear from different companies, and it will work in certain situations. Now, I've had people when we've looked at some speakers from other companies or different things, and they're asking specifically, you said positive things about the speaker system the whole way through, and will it do this and will it do that? And they're asking these questions. Do you, when you're doing your reviews, do you ever find that you're going to talk about the positives, but you're also going to not mention the negatives and saying that it's not going to do this, that, the other thing? Or how do you handle those situations where maybe a speaker is smaller and it's meant for such a small situation and it won't do a teen dance as an example?
Well, first of all, I was going to make it crystal clear. I don't review anything. I do demos. There's a big difference. I mean, when you think about it, the fact that you're seeing it on my channel, I've already given it an endorsement.
Mm-hmm.
I've already said, hey, this is okay. It's good for someone. Is it good for me? Maybe not. But I think it has value and it will be useful for somebody. And we don't all want to have the same setup and we don't all want to have the same light show. So everyone's going to use something a little different. So no, I don't do reviews. But
Yeah.
having said that, yeah, I'm honest about stuff. If I don't focus on it's not a negative if an 8-inch powered speaker isn't going to be enough to do a party for 150. That's not a negative. That's a capability of the speaker.
Hmm.
So, I'm honest about it. I'm like, hey, look, I think this product is going to be great for maybe, up to 100 people without the assistance of a subwoofer. Maybe with a subwoofer, the right sub, depending on the speaker itself. But let's say it's one of the cool speakers that I've had with really powerful horns in it with, 350-watt horns. Well, geez, yeah, of course, you add a sub to it, you can do up to 200 and plus.
You're right.
You can do that. Um, so I'll talk about limitations and I'll talk about capabilities. And I'll also mention, that maybe it's not for everybody because not everything is. Not lasers aren't for everybody.
Yeah.
I'm not that guy to go through the hoops that you should probably go through to legitimately do a big laser show. They're cool, but I don't want to do that. And I don't know anybody who's going to pay me to do that. So I don't do it.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that I don't see value in lasers. Does that make sense?
It does. It does. And I think that's kind of where I was going. I didn't vocalize the question properly, but that idea that a person is helping to guide people, and sometimes people are looking. I think they're looking for us to go on the negative side once in a while, and that's a tough thing to do because for the right people, that gear
Right.
is a perfect fit. As an example, I've had guitar players who are watching some of the videos that one of them that you and I did when we were together at I think we did at Mystic Lake where we talked about a Yamaha sound system, and we had some guitar players who watched that and they were talking about hey, would that little 8-inch top work for me?
Right.
In their application, it would have been a fabulous tool for them. Now, if
Well,
I'm
that's kind of the big question. People will say, well, what's the best speaker? It's like, well,
it depends on
what
your
are you
application.
doing?
Yeah.
What do you want to accomplish? I mean, are we talking about house parties? Are we talking about 150-person wedding receptions? Are we talking about 850 kid, school dances?
Yeah.
The best. It's so relative. I mean, you need best for what? And then even at that, what's the best thing you can do? In your price range, where are you comfortable at being?
And
Because if money is no object,
you can go crazy.
we can go crazy. But geez, if you got a budget of $1,500, $3,000, whatever the case might be, okay, now we're talking. Now I know where your budget is. I know what you're willing to spend. I know what your expectations are, what you want this to do. Here's what I think are your best options. And it's not always the same brand either,
Very, very much so. Yeah. And there's even other factors that I've had conversations with, what vehicle that they're going to haul things, what they have to haul, because some people don't have the ability to. I've got a big truck there, and I have trailers out there, and I have a lot of different options.
Sure.
Most people aren't stupid like I am and have to pay insurance on 5 vehicles.
Well, I think back in the old days, and I don't know if you can even relate to this, but you probably can. But there was a time in civilization. Okay, I'm not talking about where you live. I'm talking about where people live. Okay?
Thanks for that.
Where not everybody had a pickup truck or a van. Everybody had a car.
Yeah, exactly. And more of an urban or metro area.
Right.
Most DJs do. I mean, and I'm watching some of our friends from California, and they're packing things in a 4-door car or a small
Right.
hatchback, and it's like, yeah, that's right. Not everybody has that.
We can now. But even now, I mean, a minivan is very accessible.
Yeah.
It's very affordable. In the late 80s, the minivan still was something that would cost you something. Even on the used market, it was still a relatively new thing. Pickup trucks, they weren't big. I mean, unless you were a farmer,
Yeah.
or a hillbilly, you didn't drive one of them things.
Yeah.
Now everybody's got a truck. It's just a different vibe. But yeah, back in the old days, people didn't have vehicles to haul this stuff.
Yeah.
Vans were big, and even at that, I mean, you had to really think, well, what's going to fit?
Very much so.
And then I even think about it now. I mean, with my vehicle, if I can downsize something like speakers, that's great. But I've also made room for something else too.
Mm-hmm.
So I try to try to help on that. But I don't have a lot of people saying, what system can I build to fit in my 2004 Dodge Magnum? I don't have people asking me that, but I wish they would, because that would be a fun thing to do.
Yeah.
Actually find one of these vehicles and find a system that fit in them. That
Oh
would be
yeah.
fun.
And that's I've had people that are, because you ask those questions. Okay, what type of this and what type of this and where, and then it's the vehicle. And another that I've had, because I've had people talking about, they physically can't be lifting because they're getting into their mid 40s. They can't lift that 50-pound top speaker anymore. So
Right.
now that changes the dynamics to maybe looking at something like maybe something like the RCF units or what have you, where the tops are smaller. And I know
Right.
you've
Well,
done.
FBT makes a 10 inch top. Oh God, it's
Oh,
just
a lot of
the
companies are.
wattage on it. The Pro Max, I've got it. It's 24 pounds. I'm just like, no problem. I'm a one-handed guy, by the way, so I had to build that system
Yeah.
that I could take out on my own. It wasn't something that I could buy off the shelf. I had to think about it.
Mm-hmm.
And those who have diabetes or bad backs, or even a small person, a short
Yeah.
person,
Yeah. It's all
think
part of
about stuff.
all those little variables that come into buying gear. So gang, when you guys just the kind of wrap up with this is, when you're asking advice from us, don't be offended when we're asking you questions to help clarify and help you kind of think through the process, and also to help us, give us a picture so we can give you proper advice, because we're not going to, give you you got to buy the biggest system from Pro Speakers, USA, that is awesome. No.
I had a guy the other day sent me a Facebook message from Europe, England probably, or the UK, and it was something like, "Hey mate, what do you think of these speakers?" And it was some set of speakers and poles for 160 pounds,
Yeah.
off of eBay. And I'm like, I don't know, but it looks like cheap shit to me. And no offense, but that's what it probably is.
Mm-hmm.
And it got explained to him, hey, look, you buy this stuff. Of course, everybody wants value. You want good value for your money. But on the other hand, you owe not only yourself, but your audience some quality, and you owe yourself some reliability on whatever you purchase. It's an investment. So just to go out and buy whatever because you can afford it today may not be the thing to do.
For sure.
Right now, it's the end of the month, dude. I think I got $600 to my name. And if I had to go buy a car right now, I don't think a $600 car would do it for me. I think I would have to save up a little bit.
Exactly.
To buy something a little better than $600. A $600 car is going to have problems if it doesn't already have them.
Exactly.
So, do I really want those problems on my way to work, or someone's depending on me to do something for them? No.
Yeah, no.
But I have to break this down for people, and really, it's amazing how you really have to do this.
Yeah.
And we call it qualifying. You got to qualify these people.
Yeah.
Did it in the car business all the time. Hey, I'm going to trade in my car in a new Corvette. Really? All right. Well, tell me about yourself. Well, I'm married. I got 4 kids. I'm like, all right, well, hey, what car does your wife drive? Oh, she doesn't drive. Well, okay, well, what's your other car? Well, we don't have another car. Are you sure you want a Vet? Because that's a 2-seater.
Yeah.
And you got a family. They're cool cars, but, maybe you might want to think about a cool SUV with a V8 in it. Can I show you something like that? Because you're going to be able to haul your family in this. People don't think.
Yeah, no, they don't.
It's amazing how much people don't think. And there are a lot of DJs out there who are sharp as can be. They get it. Boom, boom, boom. A lot of these people just starting out, you got to spoon feed all this stuff to them because they don't know.
Yeah.
I want the 18-inch double subwoofer. Fantastic. What are you hauling it in?
Well, I got this car. As somebody said, I got a Ford Focus.
What kind of gigs you doing? Oh, I'm doing house parties. Really? So these houses don't have windows in them, right? Because they won't after you
do 18 goes
right out.
Something.
People don't know power requirements, all that stuff. You really gotta. I try to help. I want to help people. I want to help people make good decisions. But more than anything else, I want to get people thinking so they can help themselves.
Yeah.
Give them just enough information to, start doing it on their own if they can.
Yep, exactly. Because that way they are going to be much more profitable, successful in the long run, and that's what we're here for.
No matter what you do, I mean, you need to kind of just think things through.
Yeah.
And I'm here to help. And people miss things. It's okay to miss things. I miss things all the time, and other things in life that, this I'm pretty good at, but there are other things that I'm terrible at. And there are people who are much better than me who can give me guidance. And I try to listen to those people.
Yeah.
So I try to be that guy for the DJ people.
And that's a good thing. That's a good
I
thing.
try.
Brian, we need to wrap things up. Next Tuesday, we'll be back again. We'll jump into 2001, and then we'll have our little after segment to, we of all the questions I threw out earlier, and we never got to any of them. So
It's okay. We had fun with it.
we'll have some fun, and we'll talk. And if we never get there, we don't get there again because we've got some more things to talk about. So
Can I throw out a request from the audience? Real
yeah,
quick?
go ahead.
If there's anything that you guys would like to know at all from John and I, or about John or I, and you'd like us to talk about at the end of the show next week, why don't you let us know in the comments section?
Yep, that's exactly where I was going to go to. That if you guys are in the live chat on the right side, don't put it there, please, because we won't see that in another 15 minutes. It's gone. Please wait, and I know it's asking a lot, but come back and put it in the comment section down below, because that we will see, and we just appreciate your feedback and any questions or thoughts. This is a process of love from us to hopefully help you.
Yeah.
And help ourselves too, because again, I've got some more homework to do this week.
Well, hey, I'm happy to give it to you.
Great stuff. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for watching. Brian, next week, 2001.
2001. I can't wait.
It'll be great stuff. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you next week. Good night.